So what happens to mass shooters in prison? With all the mass shootings, school shootings, you kind of wonder when they go to prison, you don't hear too much about them. While I did my time, I came across about 3 to 4 mass shooters. Some could be labeled mass shooters for gang violence, but the ones I'm speaking on are ones that either have gone psych and just start killing people for no reason. They have political, racial motives behind it, or they're just soft as fuck and they decide that they can't handle the pressure anymore. So instead of facing it, they just kill a bunch of innocent people. So there's a misconception when you see these like weak-minded dudes that do those shootings like in Buffalo and so on, that they're these racial heroes. They're not. They come to prison and you kill innocent women, children. Like, that's not a gangster move. People don't respect you like that. So they think they're gonna click up with their race, but they don't want anything to do with that. I know it sounds crazy, right? Like, why would a super racial organization with a lot of power, their hitmen, not want that? Because you're killing innocent children, women, for no reason. Murders that happen in prison by organizations, racial organizations, are about 3 things: power, money, and drugs. They do not want to get the name that they associate with somebody that just goes shooting random people ever. So what they do is they say, hey, if we don't hit you, the other races that you hurt will hit you. And that's what you've seen happen to the dude in Buffalo. I'm not even gonna say his name. Then you have people like that are real psych, like the dude who shot up Aurora in Colorado during the Batman movie. He's hated by everybody. I mean, and plus, knowing that if you get your hands on him, you'll make a news article, you'll get tons of canteen, fan mail, and also respect to your inmates. And a lot of times when you do a mass shooting, it's 6 degrees of separation. When he shot that movie theater up, the dude from Aurora, Colorado, the fake Joker wannabe, he had got the shit beat out of him. You know, he actually had a door open up by accident. The gate wasn't supposed to open up and the dude just pummeled him, beat his face in. It took a good 3 minutes before the officers could find out why the walkie-talkies weren't working and break up the fight. And the dude wrote a letter saying, hey, God put that position open. Nobody was corrupt. I opened that door and beat the shit out of him. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe God touched the heart of the officers and they touched the wrong button. You never know, but I know he touched his chin. And beating the shit out of him is not just a feeling of, okay, I'm respected, I'm gonna get cool fan mail, but you feel like you've accomplished something in a life full of nothing. All you've done is rob people, drugs, sell drugs, armed robberies, bank robberies, and people are actually respecting you because you got the lowest form of trash. You hurt them, you maim them, sometimes kill them, you get respect. Then there's the others. You have like Nicholas Cruz, who's a school shooter, but still a mass shooter. And the guys like him, you see, you're like, how come like they're like Hannibal Lecter? They put him in these like glass prisons, no one can touch him. They study him. It's crazy to say, but they study him. Counselors, psychologists, FBI behavior analysts, they study them on every level. Even when they don't think they're being studied, they're being watched. They're under the surveillance 24/7 because school shooting has become a just new phenomenon, really, if you think about it, to the point where we hear about it on the news so much that we're desensitized. So they'll sit there and take notes. They'll aggravate him. They'll fuck with him. They'll be nice to him. They want to see everything they do. They want him to confess. They want to hear Freudian confessions, you know, when they slip and say the truth by accident in whatever situation, projecting. And the ones I came across in prison, one definitely had a racial motive. He went into a Walmart and went after a particular race, but he didn't really get any success. He came to prison thinking he was going to click up with the whites and shit like that, and the whites beat the shit out of him, cut him, sliced him, and he tried to get protective custody. You would think, right? He would get PC immediately. And while he was in medical, they fixed him up, healed him up, and put him right back in general population. Wrote it up as a mutual combat, that he instigated the fight. And we're in Klan land. We're up in the Panhandle, you know. They hate me just because I'm from South Florida, but they don't like anyone who goes after innocent women and children. In prison, yeah, it's a dirty game, but we're all dirtbag on dirtbag crime in there. And anybody that gets involved with dirtbag crime, they're not off limits. However, those people just shopping with their families, that could have been any of us. So he came out, got put in another dorm, and the racial organization called the Cutthroats from Jacksonville, which predominantly is black, they beat him into oblivion and carved words on his face. I mean, they fucked him up beyond recognition. They didn't want to kill him. They carved some of the most embarrassing, hateful things in his face, took poisonous ink and tattooed tattoos on him. And this went on for like 45 minutes. And while that was happening, The white boys were robbing his canteen with the Spanish dudes. I mean, nothing can bring you together except people who hurt women and children that are completely innocent, and they do it for their own sick pleasure. Now, the psych one, he was in a psych camp, but a psych camp in Florida just means you go to a pill line. There is no like mental health programs in there. They just give you meds. He went, like, had a nervous breakdown. He wanted to be this person that was in Call of Duty, like this whole thing he had in his mind, right? And he was gonna go after like civil workers and all these type of people dressed up as a ninja. But the thing is, you went into a DMV. You know, like, what are you thinking, bro? Like, yeah, we all get mad at the line, but there's moms and grandmoms and fathers and people working there that they're not doing anything. They're not in the system, like putting you in prison. They're just making you wait in line and calling your number. However, he was getting fan mail and he was very scared. So what they did was they put him up under his wing. It was an organization called The Unforgiven, I believe. And they're like, yo, we got you, we'll protect you. Just give us some of these people here and there. So they reached out to every single one of those people that were sending him these crazy love letters and all this stuff. And you could look him up. Dude, they shut up a DMV or a tax collector office a few years back, and they were writing back, and they made him get on the phone and call them, and they had him bringing in cell phones and all types of substances. And then the dude, you know, we'll call him DMV, couldn't handle the pressure anymore. So he checked in, said, this is what's going on. But little did he know, he already gave up all the information of his family, his friends, his groupies, and a lot of them were still bringing it in. And they talked to the officers and said, do not let him have any contact with the outside world while we have this operation going on. Eventually, some try to fade off, and, you know, the UF, they try to go after some of the people and say, you still owe this much money. You know, they try to use blackmail and all types of fucked up topics to get them gone, you know, because you see, like with Wade Wilson, all these groupies, like I told you before, he's going to use them, have them do all this crazy shit. They're all going to get extorted. They're going to get blackmailed. And then they're going to realize, I can't have my work find out about this. That's a reality. When you love evil, then I hope you love evil. And then school shooters. I met many school shooters in prison, but two that stand out the most was Nathaniel Brazil. Nathaniel Brazil grew up where I grew up. I wouldn't call him a school shooter because he didn't have the intentions to go and shoot up his classmates. He got into an argument in Lake Worth Middle with a teacher. Now, it's wrong no matter how you look at it, but I had known him since we were on the 12th floor in gun club, and they had an argument about a girl or some situation like that. He went back wherever he had his gun, came back and shot the teacher over it. He got about 25 years. He should be coming home in about 5-6 years. Now, from the dude I saw in the juvenile system, all of us on our way to prisons and level 8 programs, he was a completely different changed man. Now, it's never good for it to cost somebody their life, but it just shows you that 5 seconds of emotion, no matter how old you are, will cost you the rest of your life. It doesn't matter how many legal documents you do, how many books you read. At the end of the day, you can never get that life back. I know he's helped a lot of other lives, but you'll never be able to change that. And then people like Nicholas Cruz and many others, they're studied, you know, every single thing they do. FBI behavior analysts, they're just watching and taking notes and trying to get as much information as possible. They'll literally do things like fuck with their food on purpose just to see how he acts. They document everything. It's like a Hannibal Lecter situation with them. And then I saw these two dudes from Jacksonville that shot up these kids at a school. They didn't even go to the school. And I'm gonna just say it like this. They got in there thinking they were thug life. Y'all know the rules. One dude, I think his name was Nick. He started looking like Nick Minaj. The other dude, I think his name was Harold, and they called him Harold or Harris Hilton. Yeah, they did not like that shit. They tortured them, extorted them, beat them, and they had a hard time because their crimes weren't looked at as like, how could you go in there and blast this many people and just be this young and have a whole life ahead of you? Like, they're like, oh, y'all just pieces of shits that wanted to be cool and take out innocent lives. So I know one had killed himself along the journey and the other one is turned out to the fullest. It's very, very crazy in prison when it comes to all that. And I know we've had a lot of mass shootings and school shootings to the point where we hear about it and it's just like, oh, another one. But I don't understand though, at the end of the day, they guard the banks with guns. They got them standing out there with fucking armored trucks ready to go with armed guards. Why don't they protect the children like they protect the money? Why don't they protect the school buses and the children on there like they do the armored trucks? Because they're the future. You know, I know that sounds cliche, but they have one thing that most of us don't have, the next generation to teach. And if they're afraid to go to school, I couldn't imagine. Stay out, stay free, Us.